With each stairway Maya descends, she becomes increasingly paranoid, checking over her shoulder frequently. On most of the other occasions, you are concealed behind a pillar, behind a sarcophagus, or in a deep shadow. There's a long stretch of hallway where there is no cover and little in the way of shadow, so you insert yourself among several shambling zombies, pretending to be one of them. Maya's eyes pass over you swiftly and then back forward, marching on her way. Consider letting her out of the sight to just use the sound of her clacking shoes to track her. However, your instincts tell you not to. That she is close to her destination. Letting her out of his... Oh, okay. Sure enough, it is not long before she halts before a sarcophagus along the floor. I was just thinking, by the way, I'm thinking too much today. If Nerul's soul was crushed, wouldn't the rest of her soul end up in the abyss where she was originally from? So that's kind of weird. But part of her soul is part of Nuxius now, because the crushing wasn't done properly, I'm guessing. Because, you know, he was not that experienced back in the day. 100 mana was the maximum we ever got to with him. And she was very strong. Fucking hell. Even her death was insane. Like, it was fucking horror show levels of destruction just from her death. It was insane, dude. Her mortal body dying or whatever. Shouldn't miss long before she halts before a sarcophagus along the walls that is nondescript, except for the fact that it's one of the few that still has a lid on. Again, she looks around, forcing you to take cover behind a pillar. Peeking out a second later, you see her kneeling down, pressing down on the inlaid statue on the side of the sarcophagus. Swiftly, the lid opens on hinges like coffin lids. As the stone shifts out from the side, Maya steps onto the stone and, using it like stair, climbs into the sarcophagus, descends down it, disappearing from sight. A few seconds later, the lid lowers back into place, and the stepping stone slides back in. You hurry over to the sarcophagus, inspect it. Inlaid into the side of the stone, inlaid into the side is a stone face of a bearded vampire, his fangs on display. Like most everything else, there is no dust on it. This must be what she pushed to open the secret door. You take a seat, propping your back against the sarcophagus. What are you waiting for? Asks Egra. For a quarry to move far enough from the door as to not hear me enter, you say, assuming that she has to travel. Egra, that I cannot know, but I do not expect it will hurt to wait. Press your ear against the stone. Listen. Very faintly, you can hear the clacking of some impractical shoes. Sounds like there is more impractical shoes. We're probably going to talk about heels or something. Sounds like there are more of a journey for her. Would you take the chance of losing her, says Egra? If I lost a mark so loud and obvious, I would not call myself a man of fortune, you say. And well, let us say that we drop the shields and allow all those demons, paladins, Neville knows what else. I have still no idea who Neville is. What else? Neville Longbottom or something? What else in? What then? How will you take advantage of this chaos you seek? How can I say yet, says Egra. Chaos and plans do not pair well. Or at least it will throw Nuxus off balance, you say. Egra doesn't answer. Patience not being your greatest virtue, you decide you've done waiting enough. You push on the stone vampire face as did for Maya. Face slides in. A step slides out the top of the sarcophagus and the top opens. Quickly you climb in and look inside. There is no bottom, only a stairway going down, light by flickering green light. You step in and descend the stairs. Down a few steps is a long lever on the wall. You pull it down and the cover closes over you. You attempted to test the lever to make sure you can open the sarcophagus, but decided that it would make unnecessary noise. If we get stuck down here, you can just turn us ethereal, eh, Egra? If it pleases me, she answers absently. You listen. Clearly, you can hear the clanging of Maya's shoes as their distance tempo, and she likely either did not hear you enter or is unconcerned with someone else using the secret passage. You jog down the rest of the stairs and find yourself in a hall. Murals decorate the wall. These paintings are probably once vibrant, but now faded. The first of the mural depicts a knight kneeling before a queen, his head bowed, a sword laid at his feet, as he offers her a flower in his upraised hand. Upraised hand, okay. You run down the hall, keeping your footfalls reasonably quiet despite trying to make up time. The mural is long and gradually getting darker in theme. Soon there are monsters, violence, and however, you're getting close to the clacking, so you focus less on the artwork and more on your footwork, attempting to move quietly, keeping silent of loose stone which have fallen from the ancient arc that support the ceiling. Around another corner you go, and then on the threshold of a large chamber. Inside is Maya, standing beside a dragon. Worse than a dragon, it's an undead dragon. Much of his body is made up of exposed, mummified muscle with a glint of pearly bone. Its wings are rotted away and torn, certainly incapable of flight. Wait, I know who this is. This is the dragon that almost fucked Narissa, I believe. Now, that might sound weird. Check out the first game or its series. You will get what I'm trying to say. Its wings are rotted away and torn, certainly incapable of flight. The eyes of the monster appear to be sewn shut by thick black cords. The mouth of the monster vibrates and snaps, issuing forth a hissing voice. It is hitting at Maya, who is smiling up at the dragon. You promised me food, it says, waving its long snout near Maya. Not a lot of living around here, Swell. Yeah, it is definitely him. Says Maya with a thick accent. Promised, it hisses. And I broke it, she says, grinning up at the dragon. But you've broken a plenty of promises. You were a bad one. I need food, the dragon says, and its voice rising in a breaking screech. I bet you'd like to eat me, she says. I'm a virgin. Well, close enough. What does that even mean? Well, close enough? Did she get fucked in the ass or something? Or maybe she blew someone or something. I don't fucking know what the hell does she mean by that. But I know why she said virgin, because swells like to fuck virgins and then eat them, as far as I can remember. The dragon opens his jaw and leans down towards Maya ever so slightly, but then stops. Maya wags her finger at the dragon. You can't harm me. Ghosts would make you pay dearly. I heard you were called Svellack the Splendid. You were cruel and clever and cruel, but now you're an ugly slave. Food, hisses the dragon. Now better things to do, she says as she begins walking. At the threshold of what appears to be another chamber, as she passes, runes etched into the arc burns green with fierce light. Food, the dragon wails after her. He thrashes his mummified tail, slamming it against the wall, knocking the stones from the molding, but she's gone. The dragon hisses, takes a few steps towards the archway, as though meaning to follow after Maya, but he suddenly stops as the runes brighten to their green glow. Svellack hisses again, then suddenly turns and faces your direction. You leap back, taking cover from the large doorway, pressing your back against the wall. You can hear the scrambling of claws on the stone, the thumping of feet growing quickly and growing louder. It's coming, you think. You have the amulet you stole from Hades that kept you safe from the undead so far. On the other hand, the monster seems to be more intelligent than those walking dead. Perhaps you should transform into someone else, someone who could belong here. Hades is the freshest person in your mind, and that might work. So we don't even have a choice in this. Eunuxius was sending illusions to Hades to keep her company. It seems reasonable to think that he would not allow her to be eaten by this undead dragon. You envision Hades, including her black dress. There's a vibration within you. You shrink in height, and areas of your body thicken, particularly your chest and hips. Only a second later, the dragon sticks his head through the threshold and turns to you. His stone eyes are pointed over his head. His mummified nostrils flare. The stink of him makes you cover your mouth with your dress sleeve. It is you, he says, a virgin. You come to offer me yourself as a meal? No, you quickly say, I'm most definitely not a meal of any sort. Disappointing, he says. Please get out of the way. I must see my friend. Dragon does not bulge, his nostrils still flare. Tell the wizard that I must feed, says Svellack. My hunger distracts from my watch. Out of my way, worm, you command. Finally, the dragon steps back out of the archway. Quickly, you rush past him, hurrying through the hall towards the other door. Food, the dragon shouts, and the floor shakes. You spin around, see the dragon rushing towards you. I said back, you shout. I will tell the wizard, and you will get fed. And that's what the other one said, he hisses. However, he stops short of you. Maya is in the doorway ahead. Her eyes are wide and staring at you. She says something in a strange language. Suddenly, her words warp and become understandable. This must be Agra's doing. Haney, what are you doing here? She stammers. I am amazed that Ohur knew this language. I was tired of staying holed up in that depressing room, you say. I would like more than illusions to amuse me. Who told you how to get down here? Ghost wants me down here, you say with a shrug. Really? She says, frowning. It's supposed to be a secret only me and the other inner circle know about. Let me eat her, interrupts Svellack from behind. You will tell the wizard that I needed her flesh. Maya looks up at the dragon and pauses for the barest moment before shaking her head. She's of the chosen, is not for food. I guess I'm to be let in on the secret, you say with a shrug, and what you hope is a humble expression. Maybe we can go somewhere more private, or at least somewhere without that thing breathing down my neck. She gives you a fake smile, then motions you to follow her. Through the archway's cavernous room, the walls are covered in gold-etched mosaics and a vast number of inlaid statues. Maya chuckles beside you. I know it's crazy when I'm not maintaining the chant. It just stares at me. It's like a huge story. I don't understand it all. I need a ladder to get up there to see more. Or a fly spell, you mutter. You know that one? She asks. Her voice is suddenly tense. Oh, not yet. Working on it, you say with a weak smile. It is nice that you got to study basics like that, she says. I have so much to do. If I mess up, everything would go to hell. You rest your eyes from the decoration of the huge chamber. Immediately your eyes are drawn to a scrying stone atop a pedestal near the center of chamber. Besides this is a large dais. Atop that is a large slab with golden edges. Maya clacks swiftly towards the middle of the room and begins up the dais. You hurry and catch up behind her. Upon reaching the top, you see upon a slab a woman sleeping in the slab. She is dressed in massive ornate dress. Her long golden hair splays out around her. She's beautiful. A delicate hand is clasping the mummified hand of a corpse of what appears to have been a man. His long dark hair is all that remains of what he had been in life. The corpse is dressed in chainmail and mercifully covering most of his decomposed body. His eye socket stare up at the ceiling high above. A long rusty A long sword with a rusty edge is laid at the corpse's feet. Drawn around the couple are runes that glow red. This is unexpected, you say. Maya chuckles. Can you guess who the man is in armor? Who the man in armor is? Her husband, you whisper, to hold its hand like that. You don't have to whisper. You can't wake her. She's dead too, says Maya. She has done a lot better in death than her man. You say, raising your voice a little. That is Nerul's original body. Maya says, her voice suddenly reverent. She preserved it with magic before she ascended. Well, then I'd guess that must be the knight Nerul fell in love with. Flareon, was it? Good guess, Heaney, but that's Regnal's body from this world, says Maya. Hey, weren't you there when we dug him up? Alright, you says, it's just that I saw Regnal not long ago and it looks much better. She chuckles, not for long. What does that mean, you say? How do you think the barrier is being powered, she says, clasping her hand together. Regnal's soul is being slowly crushed, and that's a big deal because his soul is ancient and powerful. Wait, what? Inuxius, I mean, his ghost wouldn't want that. His friends with Regnal, I saw them and they were friends, it was plain, you say. The deepest of friends, as you know. A ghost journeyed to the abyss to rescue Regnal. He risked his own soul for him, says Maya. Her voice lowered and she adds, you and I just got to hitch a ride. So you see how I'm confused, you say. This is Nerul's doing, not Ghost. This is her revenge, says Maya. I mean, she's super pissed off about what Ghost did to her. I can't blame her. My guess is that Nerissa is next. Ghost did seem sad when I last saw him with Regnald. You say, maybe Ghost is trying to let his friend enjoy his time before he is done. They were playing a game. I bet Regnald doesn't even know it's happening, Maya says. Can Ghost fight Nerul? You say. Maya frowns. You know he does, but you can only fight so long. Nukes is just a mortal. And then all this is, you hesitate as you motion towards the bodies. I mean, they're just empty corpses. I still don't get. Haney, you know how magic is, exclaims Maya, interrupting you. You need spell components of focus. In this case, two focuses. Nerul who takes and Regnald who gives. She's draining him, I mean. She says, pointing at where the hands are clasped. Can it be any more obvious? Remembering that you decide to be a witch, you decide to stop asking about the spell mechanics for now. What do you ask about? Fine, but what is your part in all this? Fine, but I still don't understand why you wear a crown. Yeah, I can ask that. Sounds like something a woman would ask. Fine, but I still don't understand how you wear a crown, you say. She said I could. She said I could, says Maya, pointing up at Nerul's corpse. I mean, she didn't say it directly, but Ghost said that I could. Fucking hell, man, Ghost is such... I mean, Nuxius is having the worst time of his life. He's watching his friend die, Nerissa might die next, and he really can't do much. I can see it is important to you to wear the crown, I mean, you say with a smirk. I've been given a great honor, she exclaims defensively. And you want to make sure we all know, you say. It's not like I'm showing off, and it's just important for my job. I keep the spell going. I don't expect you to understand, she says. A crown is necessary for the spell, you ask? Well, yes it is, she stammers. A lie, you think. She wears it for vanity alone. You let her know you don't believe her by arcing an eyebrow at her, widening your smirk. Yes, keep her on the defensive, champion. Let her squirm under a petty embarrassment, says Egra. So if we take the crown off, it'll end the spell, you say. No, probably not, she says. Not right away, I don't think, but I see no reason to chance it. What would you have to mess up in order to break the spell, you say? What do you ask? She says, suddenly narrowing eyes upon you. Simply trying to get a feel for the sort of pressure you're under, you say. Like you care, she's rolling her eyes. Let's just say I have plenty of thinking about. You consider asking her more specific how the spell is held together, but decide that you're already raising too much suspicion. So why are you here, Haney? She says. The language is strange, but you're pretty sure she's using the term for buttocks as your real name. Oh, Heaney, or like Heine, or what? You wonder if the real Hades is okay with that. To answer, the answer to that question ought to align with your strategy. If you can get Maya out of the way, you can likely disrupt the spell and drop the barrier, as Egra is insisting. How do you do it? You could try to convince her to leave, perhaps take a break while you watch over the spell. An option would just be to tell her you are here to be taught. In the later opportunity, you could look for an opportunity to strike Maya by surprise. I think I'm gonna go with I am here to be taught, because she's definitely gonna be like, you're learning spell basics, so how are you gonna maintain the barrier? Tell her you're here to be taught. Maya seems extremely proud of the part she plays in this ritual and would probably react to any challenge with a great deal of jealousy, which would only put her on edge. Best to lull her into complacency, you think. I'm just here to learn from you, you say with a smile, like an apprentice. An apprentice, she echoes as she rubs her chin. Huh, that is pretty cool. She gives her a wicked smile. That means you have to do whatever I want. I don't know if that's what an apprentice is, you say. Pretty sure it is. At least that's what the way they roll in this world, says Maya. She sits down on the dais. I think you can start with a foot rub. These shoes are killing me, really. How long do you have left? You say, staring at her shoes. Oh my god, Aini, Maya says, rolling her eyes. Your first rule as my apprentice is no stupid jokes. This one's enjoy lording over you, says Agra. She starts unwrapping her high heels shoes. Maybe first tell me about that, you say, pointing at the scrying stone. What do you use the scrying stone for? Maya glancing up as she finishes, slopping her one shoe off. When Ghost wants to know what's going on or wants to talk to me, he lights that up.